I told you so. I told you so. What did I say? There was going to be a second internet censorship bill coming that's far worse than Bill C-10. And that's exactly where we are now. If you didn't know, Bill C-10 got passed at 1:30 a.m. while you were sleeping, with MPs voting in on their cell phone, taking away your freedoms. And it's a bad bill. It's probably going to get passed through the Senate. Although the Senate is saying we're going to push back on this. Yeah, I doubt it. Just like Trudeau said, oh, we can't get anything done in this parliament, as if, and everyone's saying, oh, there's going to be an election soon. There's not going to be an election soon. The dysfunctional House of Commons works exactly how the Trudeau regime wants it. The Bloc falls in line, the NDP falls in line, they basically have a majority. They just pushed through Bill C-10, okay, which is probably one of the most terrible pieces of legislation in recent history in terms of how open-ended it is. Even people and lawyers who go through it line by line are like, yeah, this is very open to interpretation. But for those wondering how this will affect our internet, if it gets through, hopefully it doesn't, this is really bad news for creators specifically. They say it's going to be good for Canadian artists. How ironic. Essentially, if your platform gets big enough, if your website gets popular enough, if it gets on the radar, then it'll be beholden to CRTC rules. And yeah, I mean, we already know that the CRTC picks favorites. I won't go into the history of that, but Bill C-10 is really bad news for creators, especially if you're a creator like myself who likes to make content that is very critical of the government and the Trudeau regime. So not going to be fun for me. Not going to be fun for me. But this next bill, Bill C-36, that just dropped by David Lametti, I believe his name is far, 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 far worse. Like I said, I made videos in the past. Getting fined, getting thrown in jail for having the wrong opinion on the internet. If you want an authoritarian state, then this is one of the best steps you could take to get that. And I don't even want to go into the specific details. Getting fined, there's going to be a system of if your feelings are hurt or you're afraid that somebody is going to like make fun of you or target you for hate speech, you can like file a request. There's going to be a complaint system that is going to get abused so horribly. Remember Jessica Yaniv? Remember this person? She already made all these complaints because somebody wouldn't wax her balls, okay? Even though she's transgender or whatever. This complaint system will be a nightmare. It will be an absolute nightmare that is just designed to be abused in all sorts of horribly malicious ways. But before I even talk about the fines and the jail time and all that, I'm not even going to go into that in this video. I'm going to make more content about it later. The redefinition of hate speech. They use the terms detest and vilify. If you detest and vilify somebody or something, that is the new definition of hate speech. And I gotta say, you know, the more that you follow Canadian politics, the more that you detest and vilify Justin Trudeau and the Liberal Party. What they do is detestable. What they do is villainous. So isn't it interesting that they're making a bill to say, oh, you can't detest us or vilify us? So convenient. So convenient. See, I'm already self-censoring. Fantastic. But for the people that don't know about how detestable and villainous some of the things that the Liberal Party does, what is it, C-75? I think it's Bill C-75 that was passed a year or so ago. And it lowers the sentences. It lowers the sentences for people who are human trafficking, for people who smuggle illegal firearms into Canada. Yeah, we decided to not be so hard on those guys smuggling in illegal guns. This is the same party that says, hey, we're stopping gun violence. This is evil. This is dishonesty. This is detestable. This is villainous. So this next bill, C-36, you guys are full of it. You're full of crap. And guys, do not fall for any of this hate speech nonsense. They're going to play, oh, the hate speech and the hate speech that, and then people's feelings really get hurt. There, you know, there's a big connection between what happens in real life and what happens online. So For that reason, we now need to censor anybody we don't like. It's thinly veiled authoritarianism, like I've been saying from the beginning. It's thinly veiled authoritarianism. It's thinly veiled authoritarianism, okay? So don't buy any of this nonsense. I'm going to be making much more content about this in the future, but this is the hill to die on. You can't complain about the government. You can't campaign to make change if you don't even have a voice, if you can't even communicate with people on the internet. Hello? It's going to be game over. Game over if this gets through. Bill C-10 will be enough of a problem for any sort of, large organization or group or team or something like Rebel News, like being able to have a strong voice that can permeate into the Canadian mainstream. But this next one is going to make criminals out of regular conservatives, criminals out of regular Christians, criminals out of anyone complaining about Trudeau in the wrong way, basically. China would be proud. Very, very proud. It was probably their idea. Let's be real here. So this is the hill to die on, folks. And I do want to say it's not going to happen all at once. It's not going to happen all at once, but it is happening. And this summer is very, very important. We need to put our heads together here. We need to make sure that the Conservatives oppose this, every single one of them, because there are only chance in hell to oppose this thing. But any Conservative who falls in line with Bill C-36, no. No. You are not a conservative. You're an authoritarian. You support leftist authoritarians. You support leftist authoritarians. You want to create a bill that will increase the chances of me getting fined and thrown in jail for simply having my opinion. So if any conservative MP is for this bill, no, they are not a real conservative. I could talk all day about how the problems in the Canadian Conservative Party, but if you're an NDP supporter, if you're a Bloc Quebecois supporter, what the you support leftist authoritarianism? We're an authoritarian country now. This bill needs to be thrown out. David Lametti needs to be humiliated for suggesting this. Anybody who supports this bill should be humiliated and shamed and made fun of, quite frankly. It's the China bill. Maybe that's what we should call it. The China bill. Let's call it the China bill, guys. How does that sound?